strongest metal is forged where the fire burns hottest. If life feels like it just grabbed you by the collar and shook you awake, this message is for you. Not everyone feels this pressure, only the ones who were built to carry something bigger. If you're focused, disciplined, and quietly determined, you might be wondering why things suddenly feel heavier instead of easier, like walking into a storm just as others are finding shelter. That's not bad timing. That's the test finding the right person. This moment is like a power surge hitting a high-voltage wire. Weak systems blow out, strong systems activate. Mars in Aquarius doesn't tap gently, it strikes like lightning, aiming straight at people with purpose. If you're feeling restless, tense, or pushed out of your comfort zone, it's because comfort was never the destination. Before we go deeper, take a second to like this video and subscribe. When you do, it tells YouTube this message matters, and it helps it reach the people who need it most right now. This isn't entertainment, it's a signal. Now listen closely. What's happening isn't random stress. It's preparation, like being pulled back before an arrow is released. And what comes next will explain why this pressure is only the beginning, and why ignoring it could cost you everything. When the future knocks first, it hits the same door every time. If you're asking yourself, why me? Why the pressure landed on your life before anyone else's? Here's the truth most people never hear. Big shifts don't arrive gently, and they don't arrive equally. They arrive early to the ones designed to carry them. Like thunder that rumbles before the storm is visible, you feel it first because you're closer to the source. This isn't chaos, it's assignment. History always moves this way. The first phone that didn't flip open, the first voice that didn't follow the script, the first soul that refused to fit the mold. They were never comfortable. They were prototypes, tested early, judged early, pressured early. Mars in Aquarius doesn't wake the crowd. It wakes the architects, the people whose nervous systems feel the future before it has a name. That's why your life feels like it's updating while everyone else is still running an old version. You're not breaking down, you're being upgraded. If you feel restless, misunderstood, or strangely driven without knowing exactly why, that's the signal. The path appears after the pressure, not before it. And what's coming next will explain why this early impact is not a burden. It's proof that you're ahead of the curve, whether you asked for it or not. Living 5 steps ahead in a world that's still standing still. If you've been feeling out of rhythm with everything around you, like your inner clock is ticking at a different speed, that's not confusion. That's misalignment between who you're becoming and where you're standing. It's like upgrading your vision while the world around you is still blurry. Nothing feels wrong, but nothing feels right either. You may notice restlessness that sleep doesn't fix. Conversations that once made sense now feel thin. Spaces that used to feel safe now feel tight. That's not because you failed to fit in. It's because you no longer fit. You've stepped into a new version of yourself, but your surroundings haven't received the update yet. Mars in Aquarius doesn't move quietly. It hits like a surge of electricity through the system, and electricity always travels fastest through the strongest conductors. That's why the first shock waves don't touch those trying to stay comfortable. They hit the ones built to carry change. This phase can feel lonely, even isolating, because leaders don't get instructions ahead of time. They feel the pull before the map appears. You're not meant to blend in right now. You're meant to feel the friction that proves movement is happening. And what's coming next will explain why this discomfort is a signal, not a setback, and why resisting it will only make the charge stronger. Pressure isn't here to break you, it's here to expose you. If the weight feels heavy right now, understand this. It's not random and it's not permanent. Pressure is a language, and Mars in Aquarius speaks it fluently. What you're feeling isn't punishment, it's inspection. Like heat applied to gold, this energy is turning up the temperature to see what's real and what melts. What happens next is where most people get caught off guard. This force doesn't attack your strength first. It targets your integrity, the shortcuts, the half-truths, the places where you once bent yourself just to move faster or fit in. Mars in Aquarius has no patience for that. It doesn't reward speed without substance. If progress feels slow or blocked, it's because anything built on compromise is being quietly dismantled. Think of it like a bridge being tested before it's open to the public. Better to feel the strain now than collapse later when others are depending on you. This phase won't last, but its effects will. Clarity comes right after the pressure peaks, and when it does, you'll realize this wasn't about stopping you. It was about stripping away what couldn't come with you. What's coming next will reveal why holding your ground right now matters more than pushing forward, and why the next test will be even more precise. When the fast road disappears, it's because you're meant to walk a stronger one. Right now, speed is being taken off the table on purpose. Doors that once opened easily feel heavier. Plans that should be moving forward seem to stall. This isn't bad luck. It's correction. Mars in Aquarius isn't impressed by how quickly you arrive. It only cares about what you're standing on when you do. This energy favors people who refuse to betray themselves just to keep momentum. The ones who won't dilute their values for convenience or trade depth for approval. It's like being asked to build a house on bedrock while others are pitching tents and calling it success. Slower? Yes. Stronger? Absolutely. If life feels paused, it's because weak structures are quietly losing power. Anything forced, rushed, or out of alignment can't hold where you're going. Think of it like a machine shutting itself down to prevent permanent damage. The delay is protection, not rejection. This phase rewards restraint, patience, and self-respect. It strengthens the people who can stand still without panicking, who trust that timing is intelligence in motion. What's slipping away right now was never meant to carry your future, and what's being built in the silence will last longer than anything you could have rushed. What comes next will explain why this pause is sharpening you for something that demands real stability, not speed. When the wrong roads vanish, it's not loss, it's precision. What's happening right now is quiet but exact. Mars in Aquarius is running a filter through your life, removing options that looked good on the surface but couldn't survive real weight. The opportunities that disappear, the plans that fall apart at the last minute, the directions that suddenly feel impossible to continue. This isn't obstruction, it's elimination. Think of it like stress testing a bridge before anyone crosses it. Better to see the cracks now than discover them when everything depends on you. The universe isn't taking anything from you. It's protecting what you're becoming. The paths fading out are the ones that would have asked you to shrink, compromise, or betray your deeper potential later. Integrity feels lonely before it feels powerful. When you refuse shortcuts and stand by your truth, it can seem like you're moving slower while others pass you by. But speed without stability always collapses. Power built on integrity waits until the timing is right, and then it holds. Right now, the world is adjusting to your frequency. The pressure you feel is the environment recalibrating around who you're becoming. This phase is clearing the way, not closing it. And what comes next will reveal why fewer options now will lead to a much stronger outcome later. When everything around you feels off, it's not you, it's the shift. Right now, you might feel strangely disconnected, even from the people and places you once felt aligned with. This isn't heartbreak or failure. It's something far deeper. It's structural displacement. Imagine building a skyscraper from the inside while the foundation outside hasn't caught up yet. That's what your life feels like. Your inner world expanding faster than the world can accommodate. You may notice conversations feel flat, routines feel tight, or familiar spaces feel strangely alien. You're not losing connection, you're outgrowing it. Like a river carving a new path through the rock, your energy is shifting direction, even if the surroundings aren't following yet. This is why even strong, grounded people feel uneasy now. The change is invisible to most, but palpable to you. Mars in Aquarius is accelerating this realignment, forcing your inner self to stretch into the version of you that your current environment hasn't been built for. What feels like isolation isn't a punishment. It's proof that you're on the cutting edge. And what comes next will reveal why this early discomfort is exactly what prepares you to lead, influence, and create the life the world hasn't imagined yet. When words fail, it's not emotion, it's vision. If you've felt frustrated trying to explain yourself lately, it's not that your emotions are tangled, it's that your path is bigger than the language around you. Imagine trying to describe a sunrise to someone who's only ever seen a candle. That's the scale of what you're stepping into. The world doesn't yet have a reference point for your expansion. This kind of loneliness isn't about missing people or being left out. It's about outgrowing the structures and routines that used to contain you. Like a sapling breaking through the soil before it has leaves, you're pushing into spaces that weren't designed for your growth. Old habits, old relationships, and old expectations start feeling tight or irrelevant. Not because they're bad, but because they're small compared to the new version of you. You're not behind, lost, or disconnected. You're ahead, growing faster than your surroundings can keep up. And this moment of seeming isolation is proof of that acceleration. What feels like a struggle to explain yourself is actually a signal. The life you're building is too big for the old frameworks. And what comes next will show why this gap between you and the world is exactly where your power begins. When the world can't catch up, it's because you're leading the way. Right now, you might sense something bigger stirring inside you. A role, a purpose, or a direction that feels too vast to explain. People around you may notice the shift too, even if they can't put it into words. They feel the energy, the tension, the change, but they can't see the full picture. That's normal. That's the sign that evolution is at work. Growth has a way of isolating the soul before it strengthens the identity. Think of it like a seed breaking through the soil. It rises alone before it can become a tree that shades the world. You're not behind anyone. You're not lost. You're simply moving faster than the current environment can follow. This is the tension of being early, of being ahead, of being a prototype of what's next. The discomfort, the restlessness, the sense that others don't understand you. These are all signals that something important is being forged in you right now. And what comes next will reveal why this solitude isn't punishment. It's preparation. The future you're stepping into is still invisible to most, but it's already waiting for you. When calm souls ignite, it's not fury, it's awakening. Even the most grounded, centered people are noticing a new energy stirring within them, a sharp, clear anger that doesn't feel familiar. It's not the messy kind of frustration that leads to chaos or mistakes. This is precise, electric, and awakening. It's the kind of fire that Mars brings as it enters Aquarius. Think of it like a spark landing on dry tinder. It doesn't spread blindly. It lights only what is meant to burn. This energy doesn't lash out at people randomly. It attacks the false, the shallow, and the dishonest. It forces alignment with your truth, your principles, and your sense of purpose. This is principled rebellion, not destruction, but correction, not chaos, but clarity. It's the kind of anger that cuts through illusion like a lightning bolt, clearing the way for insight and action. Even if it feels intense or uncomfortable, it's a signal that something in your life is awakening, demanding to be recognized, and refusing to be ignored. And what comes next will show exactly how to channel this fire, turning pressure into purpose, restlessness into direction, and sharp energy into unstoppable momentum. When you refuse to bend, it's not anger, it's armor. Right now, you may notice a new intolerance rising within you. Things that used to slide by, small lies, manipulations, energy-draining people or systems, suddenly feel unbearable. This isn't spite or chaos. This is sacred anger, the kind that doesn't aim to punish anyone, but refuses to compromise your truth. Imagine a river carving a canyon through stone. It doesn't destroy the landscape randomly. It shapes a new path that nothing can stop. That's what this energy is doing inside you. It's not breaking you down, it's refining you. It's forging a version of yourself that is untouchable, not through aggression, but through unwavering alignment with your purpose. Some emotions can scatter or weaken you, but righteous anger is constructive. It tells you what no longer serves your path, what no longer deserves your energy, and what must be removed for growth. You're not unstable or reactive. You're awake. Your spirit is drawing a line and refusing anything that insults your mission. And what comes next will show how this sacred fire becomes a compass, guiding every choice, every boundary, and every step toward the life you were always meant to lead. When fire guides you, it's a compass, not a weapon. The fire you're feeling right now isn't here to create chaos. It's here to create change. Mars in Aquarius fuels a kind of anger that doesn't lash out blindly. It redirects, reshapes, and reinvents. Think of it like a river dammed in the wrong place. The water doesn't stop. It finds a new channel, carving a path that actually serves the landscape instead of destroying it. Powerful souls aren't meant to explode in frustration. They're meant to take that energy and steer it. Your anger is a signal, a compass showing where compromise, deception, or stagnation exist, and pointing you toward alignment, impact, and purpose. It's not random fire. It's precise. It's forward-moving. This is the kind of energy that builds leaders. It awakens clarity where confusion once lived. It motivates action where hesitation once ruled. It doesn't burn bridges unnecessarily. It builds roads you didn't see before. And if you follow it carefully, that fire becomes a tool, not a trap. The discomfort you feel now is the spark. The direction it points will shape your next steps, your influence, and the way your life expands beyond what anyone else can predict. When anger guides, it points to power, not pain. The energy stirring inside you right now isn't chaos. It's a signal. Mars in Aquarius isn't here to make you lash out or destroy. It's here to push you to change, to redirect, and to reinvent. Think of it like a blacksmith hammering metal. The sparks fly, the shape changes, but the result is strength and purpose, not ruin. Powerful souls aren't meant to explode in frustration. They're meant to channel this sharp energy into action that matters. Your anger isn't a flaw, it's a compass. Every irritation, every flare of frustration is pointing toward misalignment, showing where compromise, dishonesty, or stagnation exist in your life, and guiding you toward what actually deserves your focus. This is the kind of anger that builds leaders, innovators, and visionaries. It doesn't destroy randomly. It breaks down what's weak so that what remains can carry weight. It awakens clarity, courage, and direction in ways that comfort never could. What you feel as tension or restlessness isn't punishment. It's preparation. Follow it wisely, and that fire will become your guide, shaping your decisions, your influence, and the life that only you are meant to lead. When life feels heavy, it's because you're becoming unstoppable. Right now, everything feels heavier. The days seem longer, the responsibilities sharper, and the tension in your life impossible to ignore. That weight isn't punishment, it's preparation. Mars in Aquarius isn't interested in creating people who are admired from afar. It's here to create people who are effective, people who move energy, shift systems, and carry influence that can't be ignored. Imagine a blacksmith at the forge. The hammer falls again and again, shaping raw metal into a blade that can cut through anything. That's what this energy is doing in you. Life isn't trying to make you popular. It's trying to make you capable. Every challenge, every friction, every moment that feels overwhelming is strengthening your clarity, your vision, and your ability to hold responsibility without bending. The universe isn't polishing surfaces, it's forging catalysts, people whose presence moves things, whose decisions ripple outward, and whose growth becomes a guidepost for others. That's why you feel pulled, stretched, and even exhausted. You're not falling behind. You're being shaped into someone whose power won't be measured by applause, but by the impact you create. And what comes next will reveal how this pressure is the first spark of unstoppable influence. When old goals feel tiny, it's because you're aiming higher. Lately, you might notice that the things you once chased, the plans, the milestones, the goals, feel oddly small or unsatisfying. That's not disappointment. That's perspective. Mars in Aquarius is expanding your life faster than your old roadmap can contain. What used to feel ambitious now feels limiting, like trying to sail a ship in a pond instead of an ocean. The delays you're experiencing aren't obstacles. They're careful construction. Imagine a master builder pausing before laying the keystone. Every piece matters, and rushing would compromise the structure. That's what's happening with your life. The universe isn't stopping you, it's making sure the foundation is strong enough to hold what's coming. You're not being trained to succeed at small moments. You're being prepared to influence entire directions, paths, systems, and people that your previous self couldn't reach. This phase feels tedious, isolating, and intense because it's shaping something invisible but massive. What feels like a pause now is actually momentum in disguise, and what comes next will reveal how every delay, every hiccup, and every stall is setting the stage for a level of influence and clarity that your old goals never even imagined. When shallow no longer fits, truth becomes your only option. Right now, something inside you is refusing to compromise. The small talk, the superficial connections, the easy nods to keep peace, they no longer satisfy. Mars in Aquarius is tearing away the tolerance for anything shallow. You can feel it in conversations that feel meaningless, relationships that feel flat, and obligations that once felt routine but now feel suffocating. You're not becoming difficult or cold. You're becoming honest. Authenticity is replacing approval. You no longer want to shrink yourself to make others comfortable or smooth over your edges for the sake of belonging. It's like shedding old skin. You may feel exposed, even vulnerable, but the new layer is stronger, sharper, and unmistakably yours. Aquarius doesn't settle for half-truths or performative energy. It demands clarity, alignment, and integrity. Even when speaking your truth feels risky, awkward, or isolating. And this isn't about rebellion for attention. It's about refusing to betray your purpose, no matter who notices or who doesn't. This is a turning point. What once felt safe now feels confining, and that discomfort is proof that growth is happening. What comes next will reveal why this collapse of tolerance is the gateway to a version of yourself that refuses to compromise, and why the world won't be able to pull you back once you step fully into it. Conclusion: nothing you've been feeling right now is accidental. Every ounce of pressure, every moment of friction, every uncomfortable pause, it's all a signal that you're aligning with the version of yourself that the universe has been preparing for. This phase isn't punishment or failure, it's recalibration. You're not behind, lost, or doing something wrong. You're adjusting to a new you, one that thinks bigger, acts bolder, and carries weight with purpose. Soon, the tension you feel won't hold you back. It will push you forward. The discomfort will turn into momentum. The restlessness will become clarity. The anger, the impatience, and the sense of isolation will all transform into a force that propels you into influence, alignment, and impact. The future isn't a distant destination. It's not something to fear. You're already stepping into it with every thought, choice, and boundary you honor right now. If this message hit you in your core, do this. Like this video, subscribe to help spread this message to others who need it. And in the comments, type the number 77 if you're ready to step into your next level. Your power is already here. It's just waiting for your next move.